Hey, welcome to the Degeneration Podcast with starring Wendy.
Starring Andy.
Yeah, what you got,
Daddy.
girl?
Daddy, I want to do a Q&A with you.
A Q&A with Daddy?
Yeah,
Okay.
just ask you anything that rolls off the top of my noggin.
Quick and dirty Q&A with Daddy.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
But first, shout out to DMX wherever you are.
Yeah,
Heal fast.
whatever plane of consciousness he's currently occupying, it was always higher than ours. Arr, arr, arr.
Do you have a couple minutes to tell me a really quick DMX story?
Oh, we got stood up by DMX.
Aw, man.
I don't have like
That
a
was
really
great.
cool one. I mean, like he didn't show up to a performance because he was on drugs. So, I mean, that's unfortunately that's the case with some artists. Their lives either before or because or in conjunction with their art is a mess. And apparently, like when he was like 14, he smoked weed and it was laced with something, and I think that sent him down guided him down a path that was probably dark already. And he's just he's lived a life. I mean, he's lived a life, and hope he pulls through. But Jesus Christ, I mean, it's not like horribly surprising. It's horrible yet not horribly surprising at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, I guess you didn't know that he had drug issues.
Follow the pot smoking road. Follow the pot smoking road.
Yeah, I wish it was. I'm pretty sure it wasn't pot. I don't know what he was on, but probably not that. But he also had, I believe he had bipolar disorder, I want to say, if that's correct. And, like, drugs go hand in hand with that sometimes. I mean, not everyone with it does it, but a lot of people that do it have it, if that makes sense.
It does.
I mean, with my drinking, like, it was a factor for sure.
Were you trying to fill a void, Daddy?
Daddy was filling voids left and right.
How many voids did you fill? Whoa!
What?
I just saw lightning.
You saw lightning? Sweet, we got lightning on the cast. While Daddy's talking about his voids.
Oh.
Oh my God, Santa Maria Montina, Rabina. I don't know. Like, I look for holes as a void. It's like the hunt for holes. Like you start to realize after a long time, like, it's just something that takes up time. That's not quite in my head solely, and it's not like necessarily a true hunger anymore or anything necessarily. It's just a drive I have that doesn't shut itself off, a faucet that keeps running. No matter how
Daddy,
many.
have you ever had the drip?
Yeah, Daddy's got the drip, baby, baby. Daddy's got the drip, baby. Won't you grab your cup? Your cup filleth over with my drip, drip, drip.
Daddy, what color is your drip?
Green. Go green. Go white. I got that green drip.
So the pre-drip is green and then the real drip is white?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else can I ask?
My drip is like a sinus infection. You can ask Daddy whatever he wants or whatever she wants.
Daddy, you're wearing a very interesting shirt. What does that logo on your shirt stand for?
It's just a YMCA. You're asking Daddy about his drip and his voids and his hole filling while he's wearing a work shirt. Yeah, I'm gonna change into my Chicago Bears to represent the Baylor Bears for this. Try to win that money. We get that green.
I have to go
championship game.
deeper than with Daddy.
Yeah. Put it in deep.
Okay, Daddy, what actually makes you want to get out of bed in the morning?
Creating things and having a piss. Kitty. Yeah, that's about it. I get hungry sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I'm pretty hungry in the morning, so I'm like, oh, I should eat something. Or like, I should piss. But usually it's like, what can I create today? What can I do to push the demons away or take them down with me or something? Bury them. Bury us all.
Daddy, if you were to write a character like DMX that was in a drug-induced coma, self-drugged induced coma,
Yeah.
what store would you be shopping at in your subconscious dreams?
Some gun store.
Do you know much about guns?
No, but I'd have the character want to pull out of his coma and take everyone down.
If you were to
Pull him down to his pain.
Yes, choose from your fictitious gun store. Would you make up a gun for me, Daddy? What would you name your gun?
I'll just call it the Daddy.
And how many caliber would the Daddy?
I don't know the numbers of the caliber, but it'd be high caliber.
It doesn't have to be real. This
40,
is all fictitious.
48.
A 48 Daddy.
48 Daddy.
Would you have a natural wood stock or would it be synthetic?
Bump.
What would you like to go after first with the Daddy?
You go after the critics that you had in your lifetime. You go after the pushers, the critics, the pushers. I'm talking about the pushers, the dudders, the dealers, the ridders, the ridders. That's DMX. Yeah, long live DMX. I mean, he's still alive for now, but it's not looking good apparently. I don't know why that came to mind. It's just, it's just dark, I guess. It's like, what would you really think of in a coma? What if it's related to like what your state of mind is before you were asleep? Like someone that gets like struck by lightning or something. Sorry, might be like, oh, I'm having a picnic, and then they go in a coma, and it's not too much different than a carnival or a picnic, or like, they're going to Disneyland in their dream, or they're traveling through memories of their life. Whereas if you're in a dark headspace that's got you dealing drugs in your your 40s, upper 40s, your 50s, and you're from the streets and you've rapped about the streets, you felt the pain of the streets, you live and die basically almost the streets, and no matter what level of success you had, you got it in you. You got the dog in you, and you got the bark, the bite. I mean, you're probably not gonna think about going out for brunch with your gal pals like. In your coma, you're going to think about going to that store, coming back strapped.
You once wrote a book of animal hybrids.
Yes.
Which one of those would you have if you could choose any as a companion that would go with you? Kind of like one of those video game companions that would go with you day to day and help you with everything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of them are really super fucked up. And if you'd like to, where can they email us if they want a copy of the book?
Yes, email us at degeneratenation@gmail.com, and Daddy will set you up with that.
Yeah, it was called in the eighth, and on the 8th day he created the Dynacorn, and that's the collection's title. And I gotta say the Dynacorn because that came out of a place of like wistfulness and like, you're that or the Mantelope would be the other choice, I think. It would be one of the lighter ones and not the super dark, fucked up ones, like the Polar Hare, which is a rabbit. Was basically a vicious polar bear, but with like rabbit propensity, with like cute rabbit ears, but like vicious, horrible teeth and claws, and like wants to fuck a lot like a rabbit, and wants to fucking mash and destroy and eat and claw and just violence, and with a little bit of sexuality too. But I would go with Dynacorn. I would go with Dynacorn because I wrote that. I drew that picture for somebody that's not in my life anymore, and it wasn't like fully in my life to begin with, but like was there, and it just seemed like a neat thing to do. And then so I remember thinking of that idea later, and then that's why that poem about the Dynacorn was kind of like wistful and sad. What were you saying?
I was going to ask if you would date a dental hygienist that would be willing to go down on Dynacorn's horn.
Well, you lost me at dental hygienist. I mean, I don't want to see it perform grotesque, sexy, grotesque acts, like, especially on someone else. That's weird.
What if
That's
her
weird.
own teeth were just rancid?
She had rancid. Would I date as someone with rancid teeth? I mean, even if my teeth were rancid, they're not awesome. They're soft, so they get cavities and stuff. But like, I wouldn't date someone with no, because they probably meth teeth.
It just for you? What if she realized your adversity to dental hygienists and she said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna fuck myself over just for you, Daddy. I know I have to do this, but this is my job. This is just my 9 to 5."
I mean, whose 9 to 5 is that, and then aspires to something else?
Everyone.
Really? I think they all are
dental,
like.
all dental hygienists.
What do they aspire to? Do you know? Do you know any that have aspired to something else besides maybe being a dentist? Or they're like, oh, I'm going to school for it. Yeah, sure you are.
No, I guess I have to take that back.
Yeah,
they're all
take
gold
that
diggers.
back. Yeah.
Literally digging for gold.
Yeah, digging in your mouth. You know, they're like chewing gum and shit. And then they're like, you know, you should brush more and floss more. Yeah. Ooh, there's got a filling on that tooth. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. Look at the fucking chart. It's on the chart. Just do the shit and shut up.
Would you shart in a dental hygienist's chair?
I mean, probably. Especially they gave me the laughing gas. I started laughing at murder again because that happened to me before. Not the sharding part. And I was a child, but I heard about a murder on the news, on the radio, as I'm sitting in the dental chair, high on laughing gas, waiting for them to come back. I was like 12 years old or something. I just started laughing. They're like, what's going on? I was like, murder. Murder. Yeah, it was weird.
I'm glad they didn't lace that one, otherwise you'd have been down the same path as DMX.
Right? Yeah, see, like, it's not that unbelievable that I would have had the same journey as DMX. I mean, I didn't do hard drugs unless you consider alcohol a hard drug, which you could. And
nitrous oxide is a hard drug.
Nitrous oxide is a hard drug, though. And I didn't have the same background and stuff, but you know, I had same illness, whatever. Mm-hmm. So supposedly, allegedly, you know, have the same illness or somewhere in the we're in the same ballpark. And so when I found that out about him and about myself, more importantly, like, I was like, no wonder I like this fucking cat's music, you know? I shouldn't call him a cat. This dog. No wonder I like this dog's music, you know? Speaks to me. Speaks to the streets in me or something. I don't know. It's just great. It's da-da-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum, da-dum, 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 da-dum. Yeah, I know that beat and the visceralness. I like visceral things, and he's a visceral man in a visceral world.
Yes.
Yeah.
What piece of garbage would you build your home out of if you were a homeless man?
What piece of garbage?
Yeah, what would you choose? What would you go find?
Oh, a porta potty.
You're gonna build a house out of a porta potty?
Yeah. It's
awesome.
It's sturdier.
Got a lockable door.
Yeah, I mean, no, just the plastic materials, right? So you'd have like a tent or whatever. If I can't find a whole fucking tent, I mean, that's almost cheating. And cardboard gets wet, and like when the shit material for the fucking porta potty gets wet, whatever, it's just wet. It's plastic. It's fine, and that stuff's pretty strong plastic. I mean, and it wouldn't smell like a porta potty anymore. It'd be out of the ground, so all the shit's somewhere else, right? So just the leftover materials. It'd be like Life of Pi, like floating on some shit, you know, like fucking Life of Pi or Castaway. I mean, didn't Castaway have part of a porta potty in his raft? I think he did. Yeah, the sail was a porta potty thing.
It's hard to find an inflatable porta potty. But
yeah, no, but that was a really good question. I'm proud of my answer too. I stand by it.
How many porta potties would you collect around the town or city?
I think you need like 3 to 4.
3 to 4? Okay. Wow. I want one now too.
Yeah, I mean, right? Like, it's like I live in a porta potty, whatever. It doesn't have a toilet in it anymore. It's like porta potty parts. Porta potty parts. Porta potty. It's a portable home. Portahome. I mean, I was like practically homeless in LA. So, I mean, I worked
right.
a little, and I had a cheap place, but like my diet and stuff, I live like at the end of the rope basically. I mean, the difference is that I had a safety net at home, but I had to physically go there to exercise, to be caught in the net. I had to like, I couldn't just be like, wire me a bunch of money or something like that. You know, some people are a little even more, I guess I would say even more privileged than I was in my, if you can call like having a mental illness privilege, but like, you know, my situation outside of that was fortunate, I'd say, that I had a landing strip. Daddy burps. Oh, you didn't open your mouth instinctively when I burped. I'm ashamed of you. There you go. Papa.
Feed me, Daddy, feed me.
Get that in your mouth.
Daddy, would you shave a landing strip into me?
Yes. On your back.
Into my chest hair. On my back hair.
On the back.
Wow. Then only you would have it. Only you would have access to it. I couldn't play with it then.
Yeah.
You have it all for yourself.
Yeah, the booty hole.
Ooh. Would you come in for a landing on the landing strip?
Delta, Flight 5600, destination butthole. Fire in there. Fire in the butthole. That was pretty good. What you got? Daddy likes your questions.
I like Daddy's butthole.
Good.
Daddy, how many times have you had a wet fart that was a little bit more than you expected?
Probably a lot. I shat my pants at the YMCA a couple years ago while I was working the summer camp.
Is that what YMCA stands for?
Oh no, it's spring break camp. Yeah, it was a spring break camp, I think, and I just shat my pants, like, not like horribly, but enough where I threw my underwear out in my in the trash can at work.
Well, that's nothing odd. Everyone shits their pants on spring break.
Yeah, that's true.
If you don't, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, you don't shit your pants on spring break. You're just doing it wrong. That's right.
Do you ever do spring break COVID style and you shit your pants and then vomit at the same time?
Yeah. It was during the March Madness. I shat in the toilet, but my pants were on my ankles, and I threw up between my feet at a friend's place. No, I don't know. I got like food poisoning or some shit or something. It was weird. It was fucked up. I was like, things won't let me stay here. It was awful. Like, I gave my two friends a ride home. They had taken the metro, and they had a couple drinks and stuff, and I was like, well, I'll take us all home, and you can get your cars later from the train or whatever. And they're like, perfect. I drive them home, and then I drive the second friend home that lives with my friend. It's like my friend's fiance that I'm friends with her too. And I was like, I live like 5 minutes away from her, honestly. Like live like 5 minutes away from them. And I was like, I can't go anywhere. I was like, can I just stay here? Because I had gotten sick like outside the bar, and I think it was from eating a salad or something. I don't know. That bar doesn't exist anymore, but not because of that, because of COVID.
Truck Stop Sushi.
Truck Stop Sushi, that's right. That's some good shit. Give them the avocado rolls, not even the fish. Just the fucking avocado rolls. The California rolls from that were trucked in from California like 2 weeks ago, and they'd been sitting there like barely refrigerated.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, that's sushi. That's not sushi. It's not if it doesn't have fish in it, it's not sushi, and they still call it sushi when it's an avocado roll. It's like, just call it avocado roll.
It's vegetarian sushi.
Yeah. It's like, come on. It's just eat
I
don't get it. Just disaster. Yeah, exactly. Just bite into an avocado. Don't eat like California rolls. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I eat sushi. The only reason I get not California, but any rolls like spicy tuna rolls, some too cheap for buy the sashimi or the nigiri or whatever it's called. I don't fucking nigiri. I don't know. You know the pieces. That's sashimi and nigiri are the pieces. like individual sushi pieces. But I'm too fucking cheap or poor to get those routinely. So once a blue moon, I'll have that. But usually I just get the rolls with the tuna, the spicy tuna, and that's fine. It's good. It's good enough. And yeah, I get it from a food court. Next question.
Okay. When you're ever walking out in the woods, do you ever go hiking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, have you ever taken a girl hiking?
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten it on in the woods?
Yeah.
Awesome! In the land of strength, out in nature.
Plugged it up at Appalachian
fast,
Trail.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So, of course, you have to go raw in the woods, right?
Oh, yeah. And yeah, definitely. You can't leave those plastic prisons behind in nature and let a bear eat it and die. You need a bear, brown bear, or black bear, or whatever. Black bear's a smaller one. Black bear choking on some condom shit. Fuck that. That's horrible. That's all I would be able to think of during my descent down the hill is a black bear choking to death, leaving her cubs behind because she choked to death on my condom, my seed, containing my seed that is better spent and spilt elsewhere. Yeah, and weirdly, I was like felt like I was seeing things in like grayscale when we were like afterwards when we were walking back. I was like, what the fuck just happened?
It was that good.
I think so. It's more so that it was like, it's like, what was that? And like, but I had a moment like a minute or two where I felt like, and it was also like getting towards dusk too, so that might have been an effect of the sun, but it was like, I was like seeing in grayscale. It was fucking weird.
She literally drained the color out of you.
Yeah, that was cool.
Wow, that is one big ass load.
That was a load. That was a fucking load, man. That was a fucking Tonka load. Just busting Tonka loads in the woods.
Have you ever gotten it on in the church parking lot?
No. I don't date anyone that goes to church. So like
no, just go to the parking lot.
No, I've neither dated someone that was like really into church, or I guess you can't really be someone that's super into church if you do that in the church parking lot, or someone that was like that blasphemous about it, like directly, that they're like, let's fuck in this church parking lot. I'm like, how about we don't do that? That's kind of weird.
My daddy likes weird.
Daddy does like weird, and I don't mean to say that it's weird. I mean, I'm not fetish shaming, but like honestly, like that's kind of, I don't know. I'm not into that. I'm not into blaspheming the actual place. Although this was an actual thought. No, I'm not even gonna go there. Kid, next question.
Okay.
It's so bad
okay.
I can't even go there.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've all heard about your beautiful artwork with Matthew McConaughey and things in therapy. If you were to make a companion piece of art to go with that, nowadays, showing where you're at now in your life, what would it feature?
I mean, I don't know, because that was like an actual dream more so than where I was at, because I had a pleasant dream, but I was nowhere pleasant at that time. I mean, I was literally like in an outpatient mental hospital, like befriending a guy who tried to kill himself the week before. You know, it's like that's where I was at. That's where my reality was, and weirdly, my dreamscape was like at this pleasant place that particular time. And so, I guess I did make a conscious choice to be like, let me showcase that, and let me make my new acquaintance like feel good about himself by like, dude, we can have fun with this exercise. You know, it's like he's like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. What do you want to fucking draw? He's like, Channing Tatum. I was like, draw him as an ape. And he's like, all right. He drew Simeon Channing Tatum. It was fucking awesome. That guy was cool. I felt about, I wanted to remember boundaries, and so we didn't like hang out after that. But I mean, I hope that helped him out, you know, that experience of art therapy. Okay, if you're listening and you think you maybe should check out therapy, also check out therapy. There's lots of options. You can call people up in your area. I'm sure people are taking patients out of your area too. If you're because they're doing online sessions, so you might be surprised. You just have to work a little harder at it, but your results will probably be better than they would in a normal period of time. And then there's also a bunch of online options too. So, like Talkspace is one of them, and BetterHelp, I think. Give them shout outs to them. But art therapy, look up stuff about art therapy. It's fucking awesome. Like, it's like, I guess it was kind of like semi-guided like meditation, and it's like you're given a project, but you're given like the lightest guidelines and like not really strict guidelines like in like a shitty art teacher would give you like strict guidelines like in elementary school or middle school or something or high school. And those art teachers, fuck them, they suck. I had a shitty art teacher. My art therapy person was wonderful, okay? She was just like, yeah, just, make some art to kind of encompass what you're like, maybe something you're thinking of, maybe something from your from you'd want in your future or like your past or whatever. And I was like, I was like getting excited. It was like watercolor, and she's like, oh, what's that? I was like, I had a dream about Matthew McConaughey, so I'm just gonna put that down there. She's like, okay, that's cool. It was awesome. I respect that music therapy as well. We didn't have that per se, I don't think, but I respect that profession as well. I met someone that's a music therapist. She's fucking wonderful too. I've told her that like you were doing. I think she's on hiatus with that because like COVID layoffs or whatever. But like she was doing like wonderful work because that's fucking cool. It's like I think it was like kids or something in music therapy. It's like I don't know, other things, animal therapy, like all these things that are like really good for your soul or like that you can really speak through are good for you. And guess what? So is talking to someone that's has to be there and take it in and give you something back. Like instead of like dumping it on someone like a friend that has their own problems that they need someone to talk to about that isn't you, and vice versa. And it's like, everyone needs like their like board of directors for their soul, but they shouldn't all be friends or family. Someone should be like a mentor or a therapist or something like that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
One last question for
Daddy.
One
last question for Daddy. Yeah. Daddy answers one more question and makes everybody come together.
Woohoo! Okay, so speaking of animal therapy, if you were to go into animal therapy, would you rather A, ride kangaroos in the Trans-Australian race, or B, drive a race car with a really angry koala?
I don't want to drive the race car. I'm going to go with the... Why was the koala angry? I'm going to go with the kangaroos. That's pretty cool. That makes me think about the pod racing from Star Wars for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay. Would you ride the back or would you go with the pouch?
Ride the back. I want some semblance of control, and the pouches are gross.
Oh, yeah. There's like half-developed embryos and nipples in there.
Yeah, they got nipples in their pouches?
That's where the baby nurse is, yeah.
I don't want to be like drowning in kangaroo amniotic fluid while I'm trying to like look where we're going and like go left, go right, go left.
Yeah. There's no amniotic fluid in there. The baby is born
in the vagina?
Normal. Yeah, and then it crawls up the fur and crawls down into the pouch.
So what kind of fluids are in there?
Milk.
Oh, okay. But you said embryonic stuff is leftover embryonic tissue that they shed?
Well, as they grow in pieces of the umbilical cord, and there might be some feces.
Like shit that looks like Fruity Pebbles and is dried up and also feces and also just embryonic gel, if you will. That sounds great. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the back. I'm gonna ride that bear, and I'm riding bareback, of course.
Of course you are. Yes, Daddy.
All right. Okay, where can they? That was you gave a beautiful interview. We need to do this once in a while.
Okay, let's do it.
What? Where's the socials? Where can they find us? And I'll do the
pose
Patreon
your questions. Too. Yeah, definitely. Pose your questions on our Facebook page at Degenerate Nation or at Degenerate Nation Podcast. You can hit us up on Instagram at Degenerate Nation Podcast. We're on Twitter at Degenerate Show, and then we already gave the email. So now we just have the Patreon, Daddy.
Yeah, Patreon is if you want to support the show, support Wendy, Wendy's life, and Patrice's attempt at one, and me. Why don't you go to patreon.com/degeneratnation, become a patron. So start from anywhere from like $1 or less a month or upwards of that, and we'll have some promotions that we'll surprise you with something. Just do it. We want you to do it. You want to do it. You're wasting money and frittering away in meaningless things. We're giving you the dirt and the art and the dog in name of possible R.I.P. DMX. I love him. I love you, audience. I love Wendy. I love me sometimes. Good night.